Hey everybody, welcome to today's lesson. I'm Ronne Barton and I'm going to demonstrate how I draw wings on my fairies and wings on my dragons. Okay, here's just a couple of samples I've just kindly been doodling around today. Here's just some butterfly wings that I made up, and I do tend to like the shapes of butterfly wings for my fairies, but a lot of times I'll just kind of get a variation and I just kind of mix it up and make up my own wings. But if you want your fairies to have wings that look like a butterfly, the first thing you're going to have to do is learn the anatomy of a butterfly wing. So I'll just show you a few little basic things on that. Just basic shapes and stuff to get you started, but mainly it's all about practice, practice, practice. And that's exactly what this is practice. These are not perfect, and I am no expert, but I just wanted to share on how I did things. And I am just going to be drawing on the right side of the wing, and then I'll show you some hints and stuff about how to mirror that image, like this, so it'll be exactly the same on both sides. Okay, but I will not be working on the head structure or anything like that today. This is just about wings. And then maybe in the next lesson, I will go back to lesson, I think it was lesson 2, where I did that female fairy head figure, and we will start, building blocks, building your fairy or your dragon or whatever. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So get you some paper, pencil, and I'm going to try to use this 2H pencil because it's kind of light, because you don't want to bear down really hard for people who are just beginning, because you'll get frustrated when you can't erase it, because the darker the pencil is, you are not going to be able to erase it, and you are going to get so frustrated, and we don't want that to happen, because this is fun. It should be fun. It should never be anything that causes you stress or anything like that. And you'll have to forgive me because I am filming this myself, because Aaron, my cameraman, thinked out on me today. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I kind of like my fairy wings to be a little bit skinny. I don't know why. It's just my preference. So the first thing I do, this is just really, really simple. And I can already tell I don't think that's going to show up good. So I'm going to have to switch to a darker pencil just so you can kind of get an idea here. Okay, I just draw a straight line up like that. One in the middle, and one down like this, kind of like an arrow. Do you see that? Very, very simple, very basic. Now, you can do this all over that page. This is just practice, and patterns and stuff like that. That comes later. You need to get your anatomy and stuff down first. And it always looks different when it's done by pencil as opposed to when you start painting it. It looks totally different. Okay, so like I said, I kind of like them to be a little bit skinny. So right there at my arrow that I've drawn, I think I'll just come up here to the very top line and just kind of, it's all about shapes, because we're going to erase that. Okay? It's all about shapes. See that? And I'll kind of come in here a little bit, and maybe let's give that one a little bit of a shape too. You can make it round. You can make it, kind of pointy like I did. Just practice. And two, if you'll kind of put a few shadows and stuff in there when you're doing this, it'll make it look more realistic to you too. And you can use your ink pen for this if you want to, but right at the moment I can't find mine, so I'm just having to use a pencil. Like this right here, you can kind of darken that some and just put a little bit of shading right there. I'll just kind of smear that a little bit just to kind of give it some character. little bit dark there, and if you want to, you can put little, I call them tree branches, but that's not what it is. It's like the veins in the wings. And I don't do that all the time. That's just, I'm just trying to show you a little bit of an example of what you can do. Eventually you will start picking up your own patterns, what you like to do with your wings and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over here to this one. I think I might make this one a little bit fatter. Ooh, looky there. You can just kind of round them like that, and see, if you turn it this way, it looks like a lopsided heart. Basically, drawing is just nothing but shapes to me. I see shapes and stuff like that. And you know, when I am actually doing my fairies and stuff like that, I know I say that phrase, stuff like that, very much, and I apologize for that. That is just my personality, and I can't help it. But with the wings, like on this one, so you can round them a little bit, and just stop right there. Come down here, make you another one. And you can make it as big, that arrow, as big as you want to. And you can kind of do this. Now that kind of looks like the other, like half of a shamrock or something. And you will eventually just practice stuff like this for the butterfly wings. And once you get it down, you'll finally see, oh gosh, yeah, I really like the way that shape looks, or I like this, or I like that. You know, then you'll start being able to make up your own. You know, and I know that doesn't look like much, but that's the way it all starts. Nothing ever looks like anything right when you first get started, but see, once you put a little pattern in there, you know, patterns and stuff comes later. You know, little shadows and stuff like that. And then once you actually, put a, like a makings of a fairy in there or something like that, then it totally changes the outcome of it, okay? That looks like a fat little bumblebee, but anyway. Okay, that's just basic butterfly wings. I start all of them like that. Now, like for the little gothic fairies, I'm going to have to tilt this camera a little bit, so bear with me. Whoops! I about fell off the table. That wind is blowing terribly bad here in the area we live. Okay, let me tighten it up here. Okay. Okay, now, the gothic fairies, that's really, really popular. I don't really draw those often, but I'll just show you real quick. Now, for the little gothic fairies, this is the basic shape how I start with those. You know, kind of like an ocean wave. Remember how I've showed y'all how to do that before? Just really, really basic. It's kind of like the arrow, except now you do that. Okay? Now watch. See there beside it? Just kind of join your lines up like this, because if you had a pencil, or not a pencil, but an ink pen, and you could ink that in and then erase your pencil marks, it would do good. And you can kind of just make it a little bit ragged looking like that, or you could also use wings like this for a dragon. I've done it many times. You know, just that arrow. You could make it smooth, like that. There would be the shadow, of course, in there. And just darken that a little bit. Okay. But for wings like this, of course, you would need to, look at bats. Bats are the most common thing I can think of that has wings that looks like this. So I've seen a lot of, I'll just go ahead and draw a little circle right there. Kind of like an oval. Ooh, look at that talon right there. This is just practice. See? I wished I could find my ink pen. Okay. And to me, it looks a little bit more realistic. especially on dragons, if you don't make that perfectly smooth like this. Woo, kind of roughing it up a little bit. You know? Kind of like a tree branch. You know, tree branches are not straight. I'm going to put your little lines and stuff in there. Okay. Okay. I like that talon, but a lot of people, I like this myself. I draw a circle, kind of like a barb. Again, kind of make it lumpy looking, because if you're not careful, it'll... Oh, that's funny. That could be a vulture, couldn't it? I'm sorry. I'm kind of a comical person. Sometimes I laugh at my own stuff. Isn't that stupid? Oh, like that vulture sitting on that branch. See, I'm just a comical person and I can't help that, so I apologize. But anyway. But that barb, that's like a... Now, if my dragon is mean, or my little gothic fairy might be a little bit mean, I put that on there. Because I like that. You know, it looks, I hate to say deadly, but it looks like, ooh, you better not mess with me. I'll get you. And see, but it's still, it's that, you know, just that same basic shape. And you can put as many as those little things in there as you want to. Okay? Now, this is already 12 minutes, so I'm going to make another segment about that, the bird type wing. So, tune in to the next video and I'll pick up right exactly where I left off just now.